So, Epic Games are hopefully going to publicly show off their next-gen Unreal Engine 4 technology, which will quite likely power the PlayStation and the Xbox consoles later this year, possibly at one of the big shows. They didn't do it at GDC, which was hinted at, but it could come later in the year, maybe at E3 or something. So, look forward to that. And on that note as well, CryEngine 3 has shown off what it can do recently, and it does look bloody beautiful. It looks absolutely stunning. If you want to have a look at the videos on that, I'm sure they're on YouTube. I found them on CVG, computerandvideogames.com, so have a look on there if you want to find them. Next. Valve's Portal 2 was a big winner at this year's Game Developers' Choice Awards, but it was bested by Bethesda's Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, that walked away with the coveted Game of the Year award. I think that's like their 5th Game of the Year. So
yeah, wouldn't surprise
congratulations, Elder Scrolls. That's brilliant. But also, this is a bit of nice news for Valve, particularly Gabe Newell. He has been listed on the Forbes list of the most rich men in the world. I think he's not massively high up the list, but he's worth around $1.5 billion now. Yeah, that's American billion, so that's not as much as European billion, I believe. I think it's that European billion is 100 million and American billion is 10 million. Or something. Something like that. No, American
billion is slightly above. I thought it was like an American billion is equivalent to 10 other billions or something, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's American billion is 100 million, European billion is 1,000 million, effectively.
Yeah. So our one's the proper one, and their one's incorrect.
Ours is the correct one because we have numbers longer. That was stupid. Anyway, Valve man Doug Lombardi has stomped on rumours that the firm is working on releasing its own console/PC hardware. If you listened to last week's episode, you'll know we talked about the Steam Box, which apparently is not happening at all. And this
really,
yeah, it may have come from rumours that they build their own machines in-house sometimes, custom-built machines to test games on and how Steam works, all that jazz. General test boxes. And apparently it may have come from someone leaking that, mistakenly thinking that it was a piece of hardware that
they probably came across a document about building a computer and thought,
yeah.
Well, they must be selling it, you know.
It's just been an in-house test, he said, and they've said there's no chance of that happening. And I thought it was very odd for a completely digitally based company to move into hardware all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It did strike me as a
very...
I said
hardware companies are incredibly wary about moving into new areas. Like, Razer's only just released a laptop, but they've been in the hardware industry for ages. So to go straight from software to making a computer is pretty big leap.
Yeah, exactly, and it's odd, and I think it would be very weird for them to clash heads with, effectively, Alienware's. It was the specs were virtually identical as the Alienware. Yeah. Is it X51 or something?
I think so.
They were going head to head with a company that have been making PCs for years. So I don't know. It would strike me as a very odd move anyway, and I'm pretty sure I said that last week. So. I'm quite glad to hear it. I think Valve should, clearly, as Gabe Newell is worth $1.5 billion, they really don't need the money.
No, exactly, yeah.
It wouldn't be a wise move, I don't think.
I think Razer only just got away with the Blade. And
really cool.
It's really cool. It's actually got some interesting features, and it's a hell of a lot more portable than other laptops available.
Yeah, that's very true.
And
very true.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like, well, if they only just got away with the Blade, then going from software to hardware in one fell swoop would have been a pretty risky maneuver.
Yeah, it would have been, very odd. It struck me as odd when we read it, so
yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, and hopefully it's not them just trolling and crushing rumours.
Yeah, they've got to put their budget into a Half-Life 2 Episode 3, for Christ's sake. I'm still working on that.
Their whole budget.
If
Gabe Newell doesn't put $1.5 billion into Half-Life Episode 3, Half-Life 2 Episode 3, he's failing as a person.
I'll just murder him.
You'll just kill Gabe. Poor Gabe. Poor tubby Gabe.
Anyway, death threats he receives daily for that game.
Yeah.
Checks his email. Oh, there's another 1,500 death threats.
The thing is, I bet he could deal with that really easily because he's one of the biggest trolls. Like him and Notch are the biggest trolls in the gaming industry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on to something else. Francois Lapicas, I believe, gameplay director of Deus Ex Human Revolution, has apologised for the notoriously difficult and often extremely out of place, and may I say, boss fights in Eidos Montreal's reimagining of the PC Classic. Yeah, and as someone who's played these games, the boss fights were incredibly odd and very difficult. I mean, unless you spec'd sort of like heavy armour, I think it was durable plating or something, where basically your body armour is like built into your metal body.
Yeah.
And then spec'd into like assault rifles and increased ammo and frag grenades and all that, doing more damage and all that jazz. You were completely boned. You were boned. If you spec'd stealth and hacking, you were absolutely destroyed. They were so difficult, like if you didn't spec right, and it was very rare. I mean, Deus Ex was famous for its stealth gameplay, so why would you spec like heavy combat? It was a very odd thing to actually want to spec. You know, if you didn't spec into like carry assault rifles and things, then you just had a silenced pistol up against some massive bastard who would just walk towards you, and you couldn't hide.
That always struck me in a lot of games actually, where they say, oh yeah, you can do it stealthy. Of course, there is going to be a time where stealth is completely useless and you get your ass kicked, but you can be stealthy up until that point.
I found that in Skyrim recently, actually. It's like the set pieces where you're instantly discovered, I'm completely screwed, because I'm playing a stealthy character on Master difficulty, and I just get boned if I'm out of stealth. So you have to be really clever with how you sneak around things and stuff.
Fighting Anduin. Is it Anduin or Alduin? I always get
Alduin.
Alduin. Fighting Alduin.
That's going to be tough.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, fighting a dragon is difficult enough. Like, an Elder Dragon just swooped down while I was sneaking around the other day and just fucked me up. Just boned me. I was just like,
and that's why I play on normal.
Yeah, it is difficult, but I thought I'd stretch myself, considering I've already put like 100 hours into that game. So. My life. Anyway, speaking of putting 100 hours into a game, Star Wars The Old Republic has hit 1.7 million paying subscribers as of the end of February this year. So, congratulations. Apparently they're estimating to have like 2 million by the end of March. I'm not sure how many they have at the moment. So, wow. Best of luck to The Old Republic. I believe also, I don't know when Chris is planning on editing and releasing the podcast, but they have a free weekend this weekend, up to level 15. Yeah, they do.
I might give that a go this weekend.
Maybe, yeah, I'm thinking of giving it a go. It may be completely irrelevant by the time that you actually listen to this, but they had a free weekend, so if you played it, congratulations, tell us what you thought, and if you didn't, then lol.
Yeah. Like I said, I know JP's not overly keen on it, but I'm a massive Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
That's literally like the only thing that would make me want to play it. It's just the fact that I like Star Wars and that I want to be a Jedi when I finish university and get a job.
Yeah. I was kind of tempted at one point to switch my subscription from WoW to Star Wars, but like with the year subscription thing on WoW, that's really good, and then also with Guild Wars 2 coming increasingly closer on the horizon, I really can't be bothered to get invested into another MMO like with any serious endeavour.
No, yeah.
Like so much.
Thing is as well, I love the concept, but the gameplay just seems the same as WoW.
Yeah, and
there's some interesting little things that just seem to make it. They seem to be features that if they were in WoW to start with, they would have been removed by now. Like the cover system, you know, things like that I can see people getting really pissed off with.
Yeah, I'd have to play it and watch more gameplay videos to make a consistent judgment, but
it essentially means that
strikes me first off as being not that great.
There's an entire class that is based around not moving, which PvP I can imagine is incredibly annoying.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like with characters that are supposed to stay out of the fray on WoW, sort of rangers and mages and things, you have so many mechanics to get out of combat, as it were, like jump back and things. But if you have to be in cover and you're relatively useless out of cover, I don't really understand how that would work. But
exactly.
As we both say, we haven't played it, and I haven't seen a lot of high-level gameplay for those classes, but it doesn't strike me as something that would work to the end game. It's like, oh cool, this is interesting. Oh, and this is boring after an hour. I don't know. Well, congratulations BioWare, and congratulations EA for making lots of money. Speaking of EA making lots of money, They have shipped 3.5 million copies of Mass Effect 3 to retailers globally in the game's first week of availability.
Wow.
So, congratulations, EA, making more money. But this comes in tandem with the news that an overwhelming 86% of CBG readers on the website think BioWare blew the ending of Mass Effect 3 completely. And bear in mind, that's the ending to this little series, not the ending to the universe necessarily. They haven't said that the Mass Effect universe is just going to run out now, but the ending to the Shepard story. So yeah, 86% of people, and it's, you know, CBG's a really big website, so that's a lot of gamers who have.
They blew the ending. How did they just like?
I don't know what the ending is, but apparently it's like the last 15 minutes is like absolutely atrocious.
Ah, right.
Yeah, I'm unsure. I'm gonna look into it and maybe give you something to go on next week, but obviously I don't want to spoil it.